All right. So just so we kind of understand the ground rules here, this is specific to Artale. And this is specific to third job Artale. And this is specific to the patch we are on right now without maple weapons, right? And without other fancy nonsense stuff. Like, oh, we're gonna get showa next patch. We're gonna get showa next patch. And we're gonna get Black Umbrella so you can go Luckless Bishop and Mages. I'm gonna assume that we aren't gonna get access to those and to that type of gear, specifically because we can't get stuff like the fan and the Lube dagger and the sword. I forgot the sword. The Diao Chan sword. I'm going to assume that because we can't get those, even if they release Showa, we're not going to get stuff like the Black Umbrella. Just do the tier list as of today, and then we can do another one when we get all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to do. So here, actually, let me change this patch. There we go. How's that work? Assuming current patch. Right, we can always change this and we can do this afterwards. Can I make this a YouTube video? Might watch it later? Yes, I'll make this a YouTube video and put it up later. Do you think they'll bring maple weapons? And if they will, would you change the tier list? Yes, it would change the tier list for certain. And maple weapons will be coming eventually. We just don't know when. So, we're going to start it off. Just so people see what we're talking about here. This is Hero. This is Paladin. This is Dark Knight. And I'm going to probably say the fourth job names, but I mean it's third job. This is Fire Poison. This is Bishop. This is Ice Lightning. This is Bowman. This is Marksman. This is Thief, or Shad. This is Night Lord. Corsair. Buck. Pretty simple. What makes maple weapons so important? It allows you to go luckless, or secondary stat, low secondary stat, or no secondary stat. So it makes it easy. Alright, heroes. We're starting off heroes. Because they finally fixed combo attack, or combo orbs, right? This is going in B. B for right now. I don't think it needs to go much higher than B. I think it's strong enough. It's not nearly as good as it is in fourth job when you get Brandish. Because then Brandish is going to be really good. Right? So I think for right now, Hero and B is fine. Pally. Pally goes in A tier for me. The reason I'm putting Paladin in A tier is because of the changes that they made to the charge system. Charge system with Paladin is giga-broken here. Because you don't have to do the interim attack to recharge and rebuild stacks. You can just do your charge and then burst, and you can stay bursting, basically on the mob until it dies. It's really, really strong. It almost makes me want to put it into S tier, but I'm not going to put it into S tier. I'm going to leave it in A tier. Right? We're going to keep it simple, keep it safe. This shit belongs in A tier. Dark Knight, instant S tier. Without a doubt, without question, without arguments. It's the best option that we have, basically, in terms of a melee, DPS, and tank. It's pretty simple in terms of how it's going to scale. It's going to go up higher, bar none. When it comes to third job, nothing else does better than this, pretty much. When fourth job comes out, do you think Paladin will still be A tier? Yes. Paladin will still be A tier. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fire Poison Mage. Okay, so here's the thing with Fire Poison Mage. All three of these, they're pretty good for bosses, with Hero and Crusader being the weakest out of the three, pretty much. Right? Hero and Crusader being the weakest at third job for bosses. You know, for farming, it's fine. This is a little stronger for both farming and for bossing, and then this is the strongest. But Fire Poison's farming is like the best in the game. Like bar none, the best in the game. No arguments. Right? The only thing that's even remotely close, and that's because of the patches and changes that they did to it, is Corsair, but even then, I don't think it's as good. But farming alone makes me want to put Fire Poison in S tier. But I don't know if I should. What do you guys think? You think Mist Farming is that good? That you can put it in S tier? 100% S tier. It is S tier. A tier. It's the best in the game, bar none. The only reason I'm hesitant to put it in S tier is because I don't think the bossing is that good. But third job meta Maple is just so farming focused that I don't know if it's, you know, but bossing isn't relevant in this patch. I mean, there is some, but yeah, that's kind of true. Who needs bosses when you can farm everything? That's true. Alright, we'll leave it in S tier. We'll leave it in S tier. Bishop, S tier. Do I need to explain this? Does anyone not understand why Bishop is in S tier? Does anyone not understand why? I don't understand. Okay, so Holy Symbol, number 1, numero uno. Giga broken. Might be the most broken thing in the game, honestly. Number 2, with MP Eater and Heal, it makes it honestly the freest class to level in the game. Quite literally, the freest. It is the least expensive class to level in the game. MP Eater is fair and balanced. Okay, buddy. You can just spam heal on undead monsters. You heal HP, and you just make sure that you hunt a monster that has a cast animation or a magic attack, and it'll heal your MP. You can go into freaking Death Teddies, and as long as you don't get one shot, you never have to buy a potion or use a potion, basically. It almost makes me want to make it into a category of its own. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to argue. Bishops only use MP pots. They don't even use MP pots. Oh, and Shining Ray's only mildly strong. I think my priest, when it was with like 500 magic, it was hitting for something like 4.5Ks to 5K hits on level 30 Shining Ray at level 81, which is kind of hilarious. So mildly OP for farming too, if you don't want to go out and do your normal bosses and stuff. So I think that's fine. Ice Lightning Mage. So with the current meta with Ice Lightning, you kind of have two big strong points with it. One is Clangs and Lorangs. You get free maps, basically, for that leveling section. And 2 is Banes. And being able to farm at Banes in the early 90s to high 100s. This shit kind of starts popping off at that point. It's not D tier. But I don't think... I don't know. I don't know where it goes. You're at Banes at 81 right now? That's kind of crazy. What's your XP per 10? Do bandits class put points into strength or luck for damage? You should be putting all your points into strength. Or, I'm sorry, strength. You should be putting all your points into luck and dex. You get 10% per 10 at 81 at Banes right now? That's kind of fire. It's not that cooked, but that's cooking. You think it should be next to Ice Lightning? Or White Knight? All right, we'll put it up there just because it'll only get better, and it's strong, reasonably strong. All right, Bowman. Do we put Bowman in D tier? Do we put Bowman in D tier, guys? Does it deserve it? Does Ranger deserve to be in D tier? Yes. Does it? I don't know. D is for Dex. True. Kind of true. As an Archer fanatic, yes. Oh God. All right, we'll put it in D tier. Its first job is horribly weak. Its second job is only saved by the fact that you can arrow bomb at Lupins, and then you go to Golems, and then that's kind of it. That's where you stay. That's where you stay. You know, you go farm Lupins, and then you sit at Golems all day, and then that's kind of all you do. Yeah, you arrow bomb at Golem Temple too. Is that Priest at S tier? It is Priest at S tier, Toki. It is Priest at S tier. Without a doubt, Priest deserves to be in S tier. Priest at F tier, your duo levels 50% faster than you. Toki, what level are you again? What level are you now? Are you like 110, 115? 115? What level is Rambi? 120? 118? 114, but he had 2 days off. So it's safe to say that he would probably be around 120, right? Yeah, he would probably be around 120. I think that still puts Priest in S tier, realistically. What the fuck? What do you mean, what the fuck? How hard does your Shining Ray hit right now, Toki? For those who don't know, Toki is Alice in-game. I think the highest level priest in the game. 6.8k. See, there you go. That's plenty of damage. That's plenty of damage. She number 1. There you go. That's plenty of damage. So I think priest stays in S tier. What level is Toki? Toki is 115. Night Ghosts until you hate it. That is true. That you do go to Night Ghosts at level 60 and you stay there for forever. All right, Crossbowman. I think Crossbowman goes... It's either B or C. I think it goes B or C, but I don't know. I'm 60 and I already hate it. Oh, great. What do you guys think? You guys think Crossbowman is on the same level as Crusader? I think it is. I think it stays on the same level as Crusader. $55 to $70 is horrible on this server. Yeah, it's pretty much just Cargos or Night Ghosts. Or Golem Temple. You know, those are kind of the big three that you choose for leveling. Not much you can do. All right. I think we leave Crossbowmen in B tier. I think they're good. They get a lot of buffs later. Snipe is really strong later. I know this is talking about this patch, but I think from a future potential perspective, it's really, really good. All right. Shad. Shadower. Where do we want to put Shadower? So, the thing with Shad, they buffed Savage Blow. They buffed Steel. They buffed Meso Explosion. Right? What else did they buff? Did they buff anything else? I think they buffed Pickpocket. Or, well, I guess I shouldn't say they buffed Meso Explosion and Pickpocket. They changed the way it works. So if you don't know, in Artale, how Meso Explosion and Pickpocket works is you build up stacks on a mob, right, as you hit it. And then after a certain number of hits, it increases the stack value in order of magnitude based off of how many hits you do. So it starts off with like a little Meso, and then it builds it up until it hits to a big gold bag of Meso, as if you were dropping 50k bags. And since they did that, every single Shadower that I have seen has leveled up crazy fast, and it's really, really, really strong. Ranger trains a lot better than Sniper with DOTs and hitbox. Yeah, but Crossbowman has such better second job, and they get freeze that I think it deserves to be higher. We could always drop it down a notch, but I think that Crossbowman is right in line with Crusader, honestly. IDK of Savage Blow is buff. The damage is higher, but there's a weird delay on it. It seems like it evens out. There might be a weird delay for you because of ping, but I haven't seen anything particularly bad in terms of delay overall in the game. And all of the Shads that I've talked to have never once complained about Savage Blow lag. So I think that might be a you thing. So, in light of all that, I think I want to put Shad in like the tippy top of A. I don't think it's quite S. It's real damn close, though. But then again, it can go in solo Junior Balrog really, really early. It can also solo Blue Mush Mom with HB really easily. I don't know. You guys think it should go in S or A? Level 80 Ranger here crying out loud. Naughty, I have a question. Where are you training right now as a Ranger? And what do you call it? Where are you training as a ranger, and what are your rates roughly there? Are you at DTs, or are you like solo mobbing, or where are you at? You still here, Naughty? Maybe? Maybe question mark? Question mark? Golems mostly. You have to pay the golem tax. DT is a money burn. Gonna try AFK at Spirit Viking. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. It's staying in D. I'm not putting it up. I'm not moving it up. Fuck that. That's terrible. That's terrible. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for that, dude. I'm sorry. Alright. Buck. This shit's straight in D tier. I'm sorry. This shit is sitting in D tier. D for dog shit, D for dog water. D for doomed. D for down bad, ready to die. Unfortunately, it suffers pretty badly from the client and how the client behaves from a physics perspective for both pushing and knockback from the mobs. But Brawler has AoE stun. So here's the thing with Brawler AoE stun is it's super buggy on the server. And we're assuming current patch where they have not figured it out and fixed it. You know? The damage is still strong. But I think because it's so buggy, and because we don't have 4th job yet, I don't think I can move it up to like B, C tier. I think it stays in D. You know? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. But I think it's like D, C tier. Closer to D than C. Alright. Do we want to do Corsair next, or do we want to do Night Lord next? Night Lord? We want to do Night Lord next? Hermit is insta D tier? I don't know about that one, buddy. Alright. We'll do Night Lord. So here's the thing with Night Lord. Night Lord's giga expensive to fund. It's giga expensive to fund. Now that said, if you really want to, you will be the strongest class in the game, bar none. No arguments, no questions, no debates. There's no way to beat them. They're strongest. By far. And it's not even close. And I know some people will say, well, Corsair has higher DPM in 4th job. We're not talking about 4th job. We're talking about 3rd job. But by far and away, this is the highest DPM for single target. And you have buffed pickpocket on here. Which, by the way, if you guys didn't know, with pickpocket, you get 60% more meso, give or take. 60% more meso passively. That's wild. So that kind of offsets the late game funding just a smidge. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, the 60% more mesos doesn't save them from LB cost, you're right. But it does give you a little bit more meso. And Alchemist. And Shadow Partner. And Lucky 7 scaling, which is still ridiculous on the server, even though I think it's still technically nerfed. I'm pretty sure it's still broken as shit. So this sucker goes all the way up here in S tier. I think that shit goes in S tier. All hermits in my guild are perma-trapped in Lycan hell. True. That's where all our hermits are at the moment as well. And even some of our chief bandits. You know, now that I'm looking at this, I think we bump Buck up here. Or actually, I think we do this. I think we do Marksman, C, Crusader, Marksman, Buck, Bowman. I think that's how we change it. B Mage is Ice Lightning is A. Ice Lightning is A. This is Ice Lightning over here. This is Ice Lightning. Marksman Sag. I think this is where it goes because on thinking about it more, it does only have really Strafe, which is buffed, but it's nerfed too, so it kind of counterbalances. And then it has Freeze, right? It has freezing on the map, and that's kind of it. So I think down here, I think C is fine. I think it's average. It'll do a little bit better. It's third job. Nothing crazy. Corsair. So, here's a fun little thing about Corsair. It's a fun little thing to Corsair. Oh wait, on the Marksman thing still. There's no change to Strafe, I think. There's notes on that, but not actually in-game. It's normal just like before. Okay, so it's quite literally neutral then. So here's the thing with Corsair. Your single target damage is dog. But you do get the option of going in flamethrower training. And flamethrower training, now, because they changed the way that flamethrower dot works, you do 2.5% per tick over 40 seconds. Which means you can go to a map like Phantom Watch at level 80 and get 20% per 10 EXP. And what I mean by 20% per 10, if people don't know what that means, a lot of times we'll go off of rates as per 10 minutes in Old School Maple, or in this version, in Artale specifically, because we have these 10-minute buffs. These 10-minute buffs are really, really nice, and it's just kind of our easy metric of keeping track of things without doing like 1-hour tests, you know. So that's how we do our EXP numbers at the moment. What classes in C tier? In C tier, this is Marksman. This is Marksman. And this is Crusader. So I think because we can get near fire poison rates on the Corsair, I think it's pretty damn good. I think we stick it in A tier. But I don't know. I don't think it goes up to S tier. I think it stays in A tier. The question is it better than Pally and Ice Lightning or not? Dang it, Bandit is an A tier. I thought nobody plays that class. I would hate to say that nobody plays that class when I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chief bandits in my guild right now. And all of them are above level 70, and most of them are above level 85. So it's definitely not a nobody plays it class. Not at all. Do I think Satyr is A tier if they fix Rage? No. I don't think Satyr moves up to A tier. I think it still suffers from the fact that they don't have Brandish. And it still suffers from the fact that combo attack is the only thing that's really kind of a half-decent skill in third job. What are the cons to Hermit, even though it's an S tier? The cons are cost. Single target only, really. Avenger exists, but Avenger's kind of weak as shit. Early on, and you're better off focusing on just doing single target. Aside from that, I mean, it's squishy, but that's kind of it. There's not really a whole lot of downsides to Hermit at the moment. Aside from it's squishy, and squishy isn't really a big deal right now. Shadower has Meso guard, so it's less, but we'll see. It's less of an issue, and that's why they can solo a lot more stuff. But it's not Dark Knight, you know. Buck is in D tier, Buck is in D tier. I think it's too buggy to put it anything higher. I think it's too buggy, and there's too many weird stuff going on. There's too much weird stuff going on with hitting the different mobs and things like that. Is there any balancing they can do to make archers better? Yeah, there probably is. But I'm not super well versed on archers in this version and what they have changed versus what they haven't changed. So that's something where I can't give an answer on that, unfortunately. I'm not able to say what they could do to make these that much better. But yeah. Will Hermit drop when 4th job comes out since they have no mobbing skills? So the thing is that we don't know what the stats will be in 4th job in terms of like bosses that are available and stuff, because we don't know what of these boss raids. We don't know what about these boss raids is going to be released versus not released by that point. So if we get a whole bunch of bosses that we can all of a sudden do, you're going to have to leave Night Lord up here because you need Night Lords. They're just strong. They're just OP as fuck. You know? So I think that realistically, they stay up here for the long term. Buck is S tier, what do you mean? Okay, bud, sure. Just get 25 CBs and bomb. You can't bomb in this server like that, though. Paleontology. You can't bomb like that. So, you have Fire Poison here and Bishop over here. Huey. Bomb is still good? Yeah, bomb is still good, but it's not the same where you sit there and you prep Zock's room and you sit there and you stack it high with Meso for forever, and then you just nuke all the arms. It's not the same. You can't do that. You have to build stacks. They buff CB's bomb for training, but not for bossing. I don't think it's a nerf to the bossing. I think it's just a... Well, actually, I take it back. I think it's a buff to the bossing overall. Right? Because here's the thing. Now you don't have to spend a couple mil Meso every time you want to go do some damage. Right? You can just do your normal damage without sitting there and paying every single time. So in my opinion, I think it's buffed just from that alone. But on top of that, to go beyond that, right, you can go through and build everything up in terms of damage overall, right? Because eventually you're going to sit there and you're just going to Savage Blow like 4 or 5 times, and then Meso Explosion, and then Savage Blow 4 or 5 times, and then Meso Explosion, and Savage Blow, Meso Explosion. And that will end up being more damage overall, more than likely. Also, you guys never realized that early OSMS, we never used ME because they were too poor. That's another thing. You actually have the ability to do that in this server. You know? You wouldn't see all these bandits running around sitting here and scrolling these dragon tails like crazy, chasing after 100+ attack if they had to drop mesos for Meso Explosion. It just wouldn't be a thing. You also wouldn't see anywhere near the number of people playing Chief Bandit. Yeah, everyone would have to give the CB mesos so they could help do damage. Yep. Guilty. 13 DTs in. There you go. Alright. So does anyone argue with anything on the screen here? To kind of review it and just go over it. Dark Knight. Best class, third job. Bar none. No arguments. This is Biss. Fire Poison. Best trainer in the game. No arguments. This is Biss. Night Lord. Night Lord. Bishop is Bishop. Shadower. Reworked Meso Explosion like we were just going over and getting everything squared away. The buff to steal second job is crazy. Yeah, it's just good. Corsair buff to Flamethrower makes it really, really nice. It's just overall a pretty solid class when you look in the scope of what pre-V55 Maplestory is. It's just pretty good in third job. Nothing crazy, but it's definitely above average for sure. Paladin. Paladin is giga buffed in terms of charges and stuff like that. So I think it stays in A tier. It's really, really strong overall. The cost for the weapons is low. It's just good. Ice Lightning is Ice Lightning. I think you could argue that Ice Lightning drops down to B. I really think you can. But with the current meta, because Banes are so good, I think that it stays A for now. Crusader, it's the weakest of the warriors, but it's also a warrior, so it's kind of pretty easy to get through and just kind of bullnose your way through. Nothing particularly difficult about it, aside from just getting through the second job and third job hump. Once you get over that hill and we get into fourth job, Brandish is Giga, so I think B is fine, it's solid, it's average. Keep in mind that in this list, S is like best in slot, A is above average, B is average, C is below average, D is very below average. Marksman, I think it needs a few buffs. Iron Arrow is good. It's just overall pretty solid. Nothing crazy, but I think it's just a little bit on the weaker side. Buck is buggy. Buck is buggy. They're scuffed. Lots of scuff. Stuff doesn't work. Knockback doesn't work correctly. So I think it stays in D tier for Buck, unfortunately. If they fix it, we'll see. And then D. Da Bowman, Da Bowmaster, Da Ranger. This shit's dog. It needs some buffs. It needs some real buffs. I almost want to make an F tier just for Bowman, just because Ranger needs some serious love. It does. It needs some help. It gets better with fourth job because of Sharp Eyes. Both of these do. But it needs some serious help. Is sniping junior nudies not a thing? There is no Leaf Ray in this patch at the moment. There's no Leaf Ray available. And also, junior nudie sniping is still not a good training method. is just lazy and bottable. That was the only reason that was ever a thing. But junior nudie sniping was never really truly good EXP. It was just something people said. It's not genuinely good. Is the buck having 0 iframes in this server a bug? It is how Artale is coded. They have not stated that it is a bug, but it is indeed something set up where it's not, it's just not in a good place right now. As someone who did junior, I'm assuming you say it, you mean junior nudie sniping? I'm assuming that you mean that it is good in pre-Big Bang. I highly disagree. I highly disagree. But that's your own opinion. Toki subscribes with a Prime. Thank you, Toki. I appreciate it. Super kind of you. Really, really kind of you. I appreciate it a lot. Toki subscribing instead of Himes. Bro, why are people hating on Toki? Worst tier list because Priest is S tier. Have a sub. Alright, buddy. So, I think this pretty much kind of, like, pins it down as this is the tier list for this patch. So, bear in mind again that this is specific for Artale, and this is specific for the patch that occurred as of yesterday on 11/4 Pacific time. So, this does not have access to any 4th job. We don't have access to Ariant. We don't have access to a lot of different things. So, there are some changes that could come. We could get Showa, in which case I think that some of these mages get even stronger. If we get Showa, Night Lords might get stronger because of Black Umbrella and also the level 55 Claw. I forgot the name of it. I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of it, but I've forgotten the name of it. But yeah, Shinobi Bracers. Thank you. Shinobi Bracers. So there's some of that stuff that could buff this. But I think generally this is kind of where we're at until we get 4th job. 4th job does shake this up a good bit. But it also depends on what they buff or nerf. So, we'll have to see. Alright. What do you guys think? I think that's fine. Download it.